Today I'm going to talk about deadlifts and assistance exercises for deadlift. I'm going to talk about addressing strongman and how it differs to powerlifting in terms of assistance exercises. So strongman, of course, what we've got to do is we've got to get skilled from different heights. So such as 12 inch, 15 inch, 18 inch. A variety of bars, axles, stiff bar, deadlift bar, blah blah blah. For powerlifting, you'd be programming to just basically everything that you do is an accessory or an assistance from the pull to the floor on the bar that you use in whatever fed you're competing. So obviously the goals are a little bit different. What I want to highlight is that the importance for talking from a strongman perspective, all the pulls from different heights, 9 inch, 12 inch, 15 inch, random heights. You see a lot of people just training the lift from the floor in terms of preparing for that comp setting, which is going to be brilliant for that base level of strength, of course, but you're going to be limiting yourself if you don't try and learn some skill from the different heights. So what I'll cover in terms of few weak points now, and a few assistance exercises that I like in terms of getting stronger. Personally, a couple of things that I like. I actually like people doing more pulls from the floor. I feel like there's so many of us who are almost looking for where should I work? Where's my weak point? How can I work my sticking point? When realistically they're just not that strong yet at the pull from the floor. The techniques might be pretty solid, but they're just like kind of overcomplicating it before you've actually hit a plateau. You've hit a load of volume and hit a load of you've acquired a load of skill. You're technically really good at lifting from the floor, and then you've hit this plateau that you want to break through. Then I would focus on looking at some sticking points and specific programming for that. But to be honest, a lot of us would actually benefit from doing more pulls from the floor. I see so many people. They might do the deadlift session might be 5x5 from the floor, and then they do 3 sets of 8 deficits going through the motions, 4 sets of 10 Romanian deadlifts, and then hip thrusts. So like just basically a load of like kind of random exercises thrown together that are gonna build strength. But if you want to maximize what you can lift from the floor, like, don't underestimate the amount of skill that can be acquired from doing a lot of volume from the floor. And remember, it doesn't need to be crazy heavy. I think you can benefit a lot from working between, like, say 50 and 70% of your max from the floor for a hell of a lot of volume. Probably more than what you believe that you could do, actually. So assuming that your technique's really good, you've hit a plateau, your skill from the floor is really good. I'll cover a couple of main pointers that I believe. Two common things that you see. People who struggle at lockout, and they can't get their head around it because they're so fast off the floor, and then they struggle to lock out. So how I'd address this generally with people, most people are lifting and it's nice and fast, and then they kind of get stuck here without, and the lockout is flowing loads. So there's a two-pronged attack, really. So you can either take the approach of strengthening the lockout, which a lot of people do with, say, rack pulls and stuff like that, which I'm not a massive fan of, to be honest. I think actually improving the positioning from the floor will help a lot of people in in improving the lockout. So it might sound counterintuitive, actually putting a bit more effort in at lifting from the floor, but it's in most cases with people who lift like this, it's going to result in a better lockout. So what I'm saying is, if you sacrifice like a bit of floor speed and actually put a bit of effort into maintaining the, I'm not saying perfectly flat back, but like set your torso in position where we're not completely rounded, and hold that position, then basically what we can focus on when we get to here is just extending the hips, and you're not in this kind of really rounded cat back position where you have to unravel your spine after hip extension and stuff. And then we have the guys who they're going to lift with a rounded back no matter what you say, and if they're not willing to change the positioning from the floor, you can overload that lockout with like rack pulls, 18-inch deadlifts and stuff, which I was never been a fan of, but they can work. But in my opinion, they're only going to work if you set up in that position where you fail. So with most people, so I'm not necessarily recommending this, but if you're wanting carry over to your actual lockout, where a lot of people go wrong is they'll set up to the position where they say an 18-inch deadlift or higher, and then they'll set up with like a neutral spine, and then they'll be practicing volume like that, which it's completely different exercise and not going to carry over at all, because all you're practicing there is you're mimicking, even though the bar's at the same height where you fail, your positioning's completely different. So the only way it's going to carry over is if you go into that shitting cat position and you're like here, and you overload that and get used to the like extending your back to finish the lift, then that'll carry over nicely if you're willing to do that. So it's kind of leaving that up to you. But I would go with I think you can have great success with improving your positioning from the floor. So stuff like that is, you can stuff to do. Taking that approach, you can actually just work at just think about it and actually get maybe a little bit more extended in the back, and keeping that position locked in, and being mindful of not being pulled out of position, and actually just going. A way that you can exaggerate this, which I like doing deficit. To be honest, I think this is a bit too, well, not too thick, but I prefer a smaller deficit. I prefer like an ever so slight, say 1 to 2 inches, because I find that this actually just alters my mechanics too much. I'm actually finding it hard to get a good start position there. So you just want it, almost the deficit, just to kind of remind you, almost just to exaggerate the kind of the suboptimal starting position that you're in. So then you're mindfully working hard to kind of put yourself in a better position. So the idea is that you come back to the lifting from the floor. Imagine you're doing a deficit, and you can kind of get in that better position. Another exercise that I really like, if you can't be bothered messing about with different setups and stuff, is just pausing with when you break the plate slightly off the floor. So have a go, and that will hold you accountable to a good position, because if you feel like if you try and pause and your position is wrong, you'll really feel it. So just a couple of ideas there, how I would improve that lockout.